be there. So welcome you all to today. I can say a magic session that we got. It's very special. It's very interesting, and not only because of the magic of Disney, but it's actually because of all the background it has, all the story behind, all the magic, the story, how it was, how it worked, the engineering behind it. So that's what we're gonna be not only learning about the engineering part, but also a lot of anecdotes from many of us as being visiting. Uh, the different venues of Disney around the world. So we will be amazed of how this is gonna be. I wanna start something pretty short. I want to share this before we get into business. I want to share this pretty quick. Let me just put this here for a second. All right.
Hi, Jose. Somehow you're frozen. We can't.
You can hear it.
Yeah, now we can hear you.
Oh, so sorry. I was putting an audio. That's all right. That's all right. No big deal. I was putting an audio, but it didn't show up. Oh, that's all right. Well, anyways, um, Disney, yeah, it's as a company itself, has a lot of stories behind. Okay, and I was putting there a little an that actually with the image it says it's all started with a mouse. No, it's Mickey Mouse. So if you can dream it, you can do it. So this is what it's all about, and we're gonna be going through all of this uh, imagineering, behind the Disney theme. So first, what we got, or what I like to do before we start all of these talk about Disney, I would like to say hi to all these new explorers that we get today. So I see James, I see Mark, I also see Fiona, right? It's our new members as we got today. Let's see who else I can see around here. Unaya? No, yeah. So I don't know if you would like my friends to introduce yourself pretty quick. If you'd like to introduce yourself pretty quick, no, so you can just tell us your name and where you're from, so also we can know a little bit about you. James, I don't know if you want like to start.
Okay, Jules. Hello, everyone. I'm James. I'm from Wuhan, China. Right now, I think everyone know my city right now since this pandemic. So my city right now is very safe. I can guarantee that. So hope everyone stay safe, and hope and also very glad to join you for this event because I met Minjin Shu in Wuhan Toastmaster, and we haven't met since I think 3 years. But we just communicated through WeChat, and then I saw his post in about this event, so I'm very interesting. So hope to find out what's going on tonight, and also very glad to meet you guys. Thank you.
Wonderful, James. Thank you so much. So also wonderful to meet you. All right, Mark. You wanna say us a little bit about you, Mark?
Mark, I'm from the UK and just wanted to come because I'm a big fan of Disney. I wanted to learn more.
All right, wonderful. Sure, we're gonna be learning a lot today about Disney. Well, so Fiona, I don't know if you would like to share a little bit with us.
Hi, yeah, I'm Fiona. I'm in Manchester in the UK, not London. And it's autumn here and it's very lovely, but we're all inside because it's cold. And so I thought I'd learn a bit about Disney while we're here. I've got two daughters who are quite into it, so.
All right, wonderful. Thank you all for this. And well, let's start. Let's do this magic presentation. And we're gonna start with Minji. Minji, you ready?
Yeah. So I will start to spend a few minutes talking about history and engineering of Disney. I guarantee it'll be interesting. So around 1950s, Walt Disney already started Disney Animation. It was a fairly successful company, but he had a crazy dream because he was taking his daughter to playground and he discovered the parents always had to wait when kids were having fun. So his idea was to have a clean theme park where both parents and children can have fun together. At the time, it was unthought of, and it's a huge financial commitment he has to make. If the theme park wasn't successful, his Disney empire would bankrupt. But because it was such a new idea and novice, none of the banks was able to give him any loan. So what he did was he's very, very clever. TV just started at the time, and he contacted the TV network, ABC network, to secure a weekly slot. Every week, he started to build a picture blueprint about this park where you have all the Disney characters. So that's a concept about pre-sale. He doesn't have the product, but he was selling the concept already through TV network. So by the time everybody in the United States, they became crazy about, wow, this place where all the Disney characters are gonna play with us. We will have such a wonderful place for both parents and children to go together. That's how he did the majority of his financing. But still, money wasn't enough. When he was building the tropical areas for Disney, the first Disneyland in California, they run out of budget for securing trees. Can you have any idea how Disneyland in California eventually got so many trees? So again, Walt Disney was an extremely resourceful man. He started to advertise on the newspaper saying, any families in the United States, California, if you have an unwanted tree, we are gonna come drive to your garden to pick it up for free. So that's how Disney California, they basically crowdsourced all the trees from all the families in California. That's the first batch of trees in Disney California. So these are the two little anecdotes about Disney, the earliest Disney. When we go to Disneyland, of course, we see Disney characters, but we also see animals, giraffe and an elephant and a giant. Do you think they are real? So,
Yes.
of course, they are not real. But what happens in Disneyland is all these puppets, they're able to speak and they're able to move around. This is a very ingenious patent Disney applied. The special term is called audio animatronics. But what does it do is the engineers in Disneyland, they will first record the sound and the movement of a character or an animal and put inside the animal or character magnetic recording tape with coil. So this is how a coil looks like. When you play the tape, the sound will trigger movement of the coil, and that coil will convert energy into linear motion. And then what's genius about Disney idea, this audio animatronics was before, for Disney animations, it was only animation on 3D. With this special technique. They were able to move animation in 3D, from 2D to 3D into the real life. So that's a little bit of engineering about early Disney's. I am now going to invite Jose to continue our experience today.
All right. Well, a little bit of engineering. I think it was a lot of engineering behind that, a lot of thinking behind all of that, and then and of course, no very straight. I mean, forward of the time. So it is a Minji. Joanna is asking, he did crowdfunding for trees.
So they didn't have enough budget. So basically, we got all these trees for free.
Yep. All right. All right, Minji. So, well, next then, we say talk a little bit about what is all this history behind engineering, and now we'll have Gary telling us a little bit of the anecdotes and just get into what are the parks itself. All right. So, Gary, you're more than welcome.
Okay. Thank you, Jose. First thing I want to tell you is I got this cup. This is my coffee cup this morning. I got this on a Disney cruise.
Lovely.
Okay. So here we go.
All right, so just
Well,
get ready, Gary.
my sharing screen isn't coming up. So
Well, Gary's
Oh.
based in Florida. Just to let you know, and he has been, of course, to Disney in Florida, and also he will like to share some of the pictures also on the cruise and some of the other anecdotes that he have been doing around Disney.
Jose, why
Yes.
this is like the news. We're having technical difficulties, and so as a result, why don't you go to the next person and then come back to me?
All right, no problem at all.
Okay.
Sure, no problem. All right, so next it will be then Floyd. All right, so why we have a lot of different persons is that all of us have different anecdotes and different things to share. Right, so that's the whole point of this session today, for us to share what we have on Disney. Okay, so Chloe, very interesting. She have a bucket list that she wants to go to every Disney around the world, and it's almost done, almost done. Okay? And she will be sharing with us some interesting facts about the Disney's around the world, and on her own anecdote, because she has been there. And well, Chloe, I'll do the presentation. I'll put the presentation. Okay.
Yep. Thank you, Jose. So as Jose mentioned, I went to Disneyland Paris as the first place, and then after that, I had an idea to, like finish my bucket list. But after I finished the latest one in in Florida, the Shanghai Disneyland came up. That's why I haven't finished it eventually. So I hope, we keep dreaming. And then that is good that I haven't finished, and then I still keep dreaming.
Right.
Yep. Disney World where dreams come true. So this is a theme for today. So this is the interesting statistics of the amusement around the world. So as you can see from this, it's like top 25, but I just cropped this down to just about like 6 of them, and you can see that the first at the highest attendance is actually the Magic Kingdom in Disneyland, in Disney World actually, in Florida. And if you can see, the third one is Tokyo Disneyland, and the fourth one is Tokyo Disneyseas, and the fifth one is Universal Studio. So technically the top four Disneylands or amusement is actually all Disney. And the third one is actually from Tokyo, which is also interesting. So we can go to the next slide, please. So are we cutting all the USA Disney completely?
Maybe.
Well, as Gary's going to be talking about Disney, US.
Okay. All right.
Yep.
Perfect. So so Gary will talk about the Disney World in the US and also California. So this one is the Tokyo Disney Resort in Japan. It was opened in 1983. So it opened in Disneyland in 1983 first, and then Disneyseas came later in 2001. The interesting fact is that the Tokyo Disney Resort is not located in the city of Tokyo. It's actually in Urayasu in Chiba Prefecture. And also, if you can see from the photo here, the World Bazaar is actually the weatherproof glass roof inspired by Victorian era architecture. And one more interesting thing is there is no alcohol served at all in this Tokyo Disney Resort until the October 1st, which is pretty much less than a month ago that they have changed. And if you have been familiar with Disney before, Club 33 is actually the private club for Walt Disney and his friends to enjoy the cocktails and alcohol and also some casino game in there. So in Tokyo Disney Resort, there is no alcohol served at all outside the Club 33. And then another interesting thing about the Disney Resort, we go to the next slide, is the popcorn. So if you have been to Disneyland before, popcorn is one of the most signature things. And we have a little quiz to ask everyone's an opinion. So which popcorn flavors in Tokyo like they have been sold in Tokyo Disney Resort?
So you should see a pop-up polls on your window, and everybody, if you can choose your answer. It's a multiple choice one, so you can choose more than one. Have you voted? Are you? So
Did everyone vote?
I want to check so I launched the poll and stop sharing. Are you able to see the poll at all?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. If everybody can make your choice, you can click which one you think is the answer, then I will be able to share the poll result with everybody. Is it strawberry, chocolate, honey, soy sauce? What are the flavors you will be able to find in Disney Tokyo? So looks like people voted soy sauce. And somebody said, Joanna said she would guess all of them.
Are we gonna launch the poll, or I just should tell the answer?
Yeah, somehow.
Okay.
Hmm.
Okay, that's okay. So I think Joanna knows best, because actually all the flavors here have been sold at Tokyo Disney Resort. As you know, like soy sauce is, like this is probably easy. And I have already spoiled you that curry popcorn on the photo is also part of the flavor as well. But the unique flavors that are particularly exclusive to Tokyo Disney Resort are soy sauce, black pepper, garlic shrimp, honey, strawberry, curry, and matcha white chocolate. So technically all of the flavors on the choices have been sold at the Tokyo Disney Resort. So we are gonna go to the next quiz, that which rides are unique to only Tokyo Disney Resort?
So I've launched a poll. Which ride are unique only to Tokyo Disney? I don't know if people can vote on the poll, or if you can't vote on the poll, maybe there's technical issues. Everybody, you can put your answer on the chat box so we can read your A, B, C, D in the chat box. A, Journey to the Center of the Earth. B, Monster Riding Go Seek. C, Winnie the Pooh's Honey Hunt. D, Space Mountain. So we got C and D. People trying. Nanya and Anne said C, and Jingdai in the US said D. We don't know which one is right. Floyd, would you
Yes.
like to review the answer?
So the unique ride to Tokyo Disney Resort is actually A, B, and C. So these three rides have been unique to only Tokyo Disney Resort. Space Mountain has been available in all Disneyland except the one in Shanghai. So and the very interesting thing is the Journey to the Center of the Earth has been inspired by Julius Verne, the literature. So like Disney has been incorporate a lot of artwork and also artists into every part of the Disney. Yep, Busan. That's funny. So we can go to the next slide, please. So as you know, the usually I arrange the slides. So the first Disneyland that Walt Disney opened is the one in California. The second location is the one in Florida and was the largest. The third one is the one in Tokyo, which is the first location outside the US. And the next location is Disneyland Paris in France, that was opened in 1992. And it started with one park, and then they expanded to Disneyland Studio Park in 2002. The Sleeping Beauty Castle stained glass here, as you see from the photo, created by Paul Chapman, an English stained glass specialist who had previously worked for the Queen of England and also worked on the restoration of Notre Dame. And as I mentioned before, that Space Mountain has been available in all Disneylands except the one in Shanghai. The one is at Disneyland Paris is the unique one among the rest because it's the fastest and it also go upside down. So technically that is only a single track, which when they go up, they go backwards, back to the original starting point. But the rest of all the space mountains around the world is actually go into the loop. So this attraction actually like go forward, keep going forward. So Disneyland Paris wasn't named this Disneyland Paris before. So we can launch the quiz and have you guess which name was which name wasn't the name previously used? Okay.
So Disneyland Paris wasn't the original name used.
Yep.
What would be the original name,
Right.
previous name used for Disneyland Paris? Is it A, Disney Park Paris, or B, Euro Disney Resort, or C, Disney Resort Paris, or D, European Disneyland France? A lot of people are saying B for boy. We got, oh,
Ah,
Joanna said
wow.
B, Anne said B, Sumili said B, 3B so far.
Wow, this is very interesting. This is very interesting.
We got a 1C as well, Disney Resort Paris.
Wow, this is very interesting. I'm glad to hear this. So it means that you all have been a fan of Disney. So technically, B and C are correct. So Disneyland Paris started as a Euro Disney resort. But a lot of European don't like the name because they have been using the word Euro a lot, that they feel like they are tired of the name. So, for American people, anything Euro sounds like fancy. So that doesn't matter. So they end up changing the name. From 1992, it was Euro Disney Resort. And then in 2002, after they add Disneyland Studio Park, they changed the name into Disney Resort Paris. And then in 2009, they changed the name again into Disneyland Paris. So this is also like interesting that they have changed the name again. So hopefully they are not gonna change the name of Disneyland Paris in the future. So after Disneyland Paris, we're gonna go next.
Would you like Jose to move?
Is the Hong Kong Disneyland Resort, and it was opened in 2005. As you see from the photo, the Sleeping Beauty Castle, as like a landmark of Disneyland, for the Hong Kong location has the mountain as the background, and it's a natural mountain. And for the resort itself has 200 species of trees and 400 species, which is actually a lot compared to 68 acres. In Florida, the land size is actually 27,000 acres and has only like 500 trees, which like Hong Kong has only 68 acres and has 200 trees, which is like almost half of what we have in Florida. And apart from Disneyland, guests apart from Disney Cruise, guests can also find the Golden Mickey's musical, only particularly exclusively at Hong Kong Disneyland. And if you are a fan of Marvel attraction, Hong Kong had the Iron Man experience as the first Marvel attraction to attract people to go to Hong Kong. So since we talked about the Iron Man experience, we're gonna ask you a fun quiz. Iron Man is like an attraction that bring Iron Man character to life, from rides to interactive game to food. I just want to ask you, which food has been so exclusively at the Iron Man experiences?
So basically they combine Iron Man character with food. So the question is, which food is exclusively sold at Hong Kong's Iron Man experience? So Anne said D, all of the above. And some Jinta said C. So we have a lot of C, half D so far. Half C, half dog.
This is very interesting. You are like a fan. you all can actually like share your experiences here because you know best.
A lot of D's, a lot of dogs.
Yep. So the answer is actually D, is all of the above. So the super sweet hero shield is actually the lollipop. So it's called the shield. It sounds like a game, but it's actually a food. Hero Burger is actually the one that Jose shared the photo here, and then the waffle is actually the machine. So I know that all of us probably have known Iron Man waffle because now they sell the waffle maker, like waffle making machine, and like it's fun to have that. So yep, so that's right, Adventures members. So after Hong Kong is the smallest, and then we go to the next one, which is the newest that just opened in 2016. And in China, in Shanghai, is the second largest theme park. Even though it's the second largest, the size of the Shanghai is actually 953 acres compared to the one in Florida that is 27,000 acres. But like Shanghai still considered as the second largest theme park. And after they just built, so they make everything like, they try to make it like record. So they have the tallest enchanted storybook castle. And one fun fact, this is not fun, it's like almost sad, that they need to remove or relocate 1,200 graves in order to build this park. So the Chinese government has to compensate the families of those graves in order to ask them to relocate their family graves. So that's also story behind this Shanghai Disney Park. So in Tokyo Disneyland has haunted mansion, and then they was like joking that if you see some haunted mansion in Shanghai Disneyland, it's actually not from attraction, it actually was from the old graves. So that can also link to the next explorer too. But anyway, so in Shanghai Disneyland Park has the garden of 12 friends. Some of you may know that in Chinese culture, we have zodiac, like 12 zodiac that start from rat, and then cow, and then like go into 12 years. So does anyone want to guess what is like the characters from which movie?
So you mean for the Chinese zodiac, because Chinese zodiac have 12 animals. Each year is year of one particular animal of the snake, animal of the cow. What you meant, Ploy, is each animal can be from a Disney movie or Disney animation.
This might be a little bit difficult.
But it's very cool to have all the animal zodiacs from a Disney movie, Disney content.
You see, we got one.
Yep. You all are great.
So the rat from Ratatouille, the dog from Goofy, the tiger from Winnie the Pooh.
Yep.
Okay.
Apu from Apu is correct too. It's monkey. It's from Aladdin. That's so we can go to the next slide. Yep. And then you see that the 12 years we have 12 characters from different movies. So the Ratatouille, the ox from the blue ox, and tiger, Thumper from Bambi. We have Car from the Jungle Book. We have the horse, Maximus, and then we have Jolly Holiday Lamps, Abu, Alan Adele, and Pluto, Ham. Yes.
I'm surprised the mouse isn't from Mickey Mouse.
Oh, yeah, that's too
obvious.
Too iconic. Right. Okay. Yep. So, and then the next slide would be the, are we gonna go to the next slide or we gonna go to Gary first?
I think we can go to the next slide, and then after we can talk about Disney cruises. Sure.
All right. Yeah. So the next one is Disney cruise. So yeah, as you know, like the Disney cruise is like part of the product of the Disneyland. And then in you know, Disney cruise has 4 fleets. So Disney Magic, Disney Wonder, Disney Dream, and Disney Fantasy. So and then yeah, and then we go back to Gary, and then we can share experiences from our guests as well.
Gary, are you ready?
Yes.
I hope this is going to work. Because Gary lives in Florida. Because Florida has the biggest Disneyland park ever. That's the biggest. And Yvonne, I don't know if you are still there. Yvonne, you went to Disney Shanghai, right? Oh, okay, Gary.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, Gary.
Later.
Okay. Okay. So here's a, you'll notice the fireworks make the ears for Mickey Mouse. Magic Kingdom, what I'm going to do is just tell you anecdotes. This is a friend of mine from San Diego, California. He's a Disney nut. And when he comes to Florida, we go to Disney. The reason I've got this slide in here is that lots of adults like the Magic Kingdom just as much as the kids. Animal Kingdom Lodge is one of the lodges there where people stay. One of the advantages that we have, because we no longer have season tickets, season passes we have for years. Right now we don't, but we go to the lodge because we can get there without a season pass, without going through a gate. And then we go in, we enjoy the restaurants that's in there. This is called Boma. And we also enjoy just watching the animals, because we can do all of this without without paying. One of the questions that someone asked, I asked the one of the helpers there, are the animals afraid of people? And he said, all of the animals here were born here. They were born at Disney, and they're not afraid of people.
So these animals are real.
Oh my, yes. Oh yes.
Really? Oh, I always thought they're animated.
No, not here. These are zebras and wildebeests. They have all the animals that are right here are friendly to each other, so that they don't attack each other. But these are all real animals.
And the buildings, are they dormitories? Like, are they staff working and living there? Or the buildings behind, are they residential?
Oh yes, that's the lodge. So you get a room right here, and then you can see the animals, and the giraffes will come right up and nibble food from you. That's really fun. Okay, Epcot Center is really about international countries. It's really nice. You come out down the path here and then start with, we always go to the left, Mexico, and then Norway, and then China and Germany, Italy. This is the U.S. one, Japan, Morocco, France. I don't know what the international gateway is. That must be, I hadn't noticed that before. And then the U.K. here, and then Canada. We just really enjoy all of this. So this is the start of coming into the big sphere. It's a train ride through this, which is talking about the evolution of history completely. Then here's the ones that I enjoy particularly. This is Pub. This is for Minji and Mike.
Thank you.
And then here's the downtown part at night of the UK exhibit at Epcot. Really beautiful.
Wow.
Then here's France. The French restaurants are particularly good. We've had, this is one of them right here. Another one, we always go to the pastry shop here, and it's delightful. We get quiche every time we go. Inside here is a movie that I like to see over and over and over. It's just beautiful. Okay, then China, I love this one. It's so great. The inside of this area is a theater in the round, and you stand as you watch it. It's beautiful about all of China. Really so well done. This is in the lobby in the waiting area of that particular one. Then here we have Japan. Japan has a prominent place on the south side here. You can see the sphere in the background, and the countries are all around the lake. Here's the Japanese, one of the main buildings. Here is one of the dining rooms with Japan, and Mickey is prominently represented.
I can't eat this one. It's too cute to eat.
And then we have drum exhibitions. This is done frequently. People love it. Really enjoying the drum music of Japan. Disney Springs is the downtown area. It used to be called Downtown Disney. And one of the things that they have is a balloon ride. My wife does not like that at all, but she went anyway. This one I took from the ground. That's my picture from the ground of the balloon. This is a picture that I took from the balloon of Downtown Disney, or Disney Springs it's called now. Then Disney Dream, the cruise line. We went on the Disney Dream. Here's our family. This is me in the background, hiding behind Mickey, my wife. My two kids are, this is my son, this is my daughter. My son is married to Jen. My daughter is married to Andrew, and then there are the 4 grandchildren. We took them all on the Disney cruise on our 50th anniversary. The reason I put this slide in is my granddaughter was 12 years old at the time. She was a preteen. We felt complete safety, and just she could come and go wherever she wanted to. She was with the preteen group and just loved it. She met a super friend and had a wonderful time. Everybody had a wonderful time. And that's the end of my little story. Now let's see how I get back here.
Yeah, I'm gonna close your window, stop you from sharing.
There we go.
Thank you, Gary. Thank you, Gary. So lovely. I just want to share pretty quick. My first ever, the first time I left Panama, it was when I was 11 years old and was going to Disney. And I went to Epcot Center. I still remember going up the ball, and it was really amazing for me. So it was very, very interesting. So, well, Ploy, she wants to present something pretty quick. I want that actually what was Gary was telling. So I will just put in a presentation pretty quick. Ploy.
Yep.
Yep.
So as Gary mentioned, that the Disney World in Florida is quite big. It's very big, and there are tons of stuff in there. There is one thing that Disneyland is very genius about how to navigate their staff within the Disney without interacting with the guests. They are creating the utilidor system. This is the map of the tunnel under the Disney World in Florida. And this one is actually not underground. It's not in the basement. This one is actually at the street level. And the Disney has been built on top of this system. So this is under the ground, and only the guests who buy the pass can see this as like a private VIP pass. And then when you go in under there, the characters, the staff, and the crew members actually navigate through the Disney in that level. And there are like your golf carts that they like take people from one location to the other. And that is like the map of the whole system. And they also have the underground trash system as well, because every step you walk on the Disney World or even Disneyland anywhere in the world, you will see the trash. So once you like put stuff into the trash bin, it go under into like UT door system as well, and there are separate section where it's automatic vacuum collection. So this is all under the Disneyland and Disney World that we have been walking on, which is this is like very genius system. So I want to present this just to support Gary wonderful you know, like big pictures of the Disney World.
Well, definitely to see as well. Thank you, Ploy. So we have been talking about also the cruises and how interesting it's going to be, and Gary sharing his anecdote. Well, today we got two important guests today. Of course, all of you are important, but we got some insiders, as we can say. We got today Natalie and Shad. Welcome to our Disney session today, and they worked before, or they worked no for Disney, and they're going to be sharing their anecdotes with us. Natalie, Chad, you're all welcome.
Hi guys,
Hey,
and
everyone.
thanks so much for having us. This is such a beautiful platform. We're very excited to be here with you. Just to give you a little bit of brief history about us and our life with Disney. I started with Disney Cruise Line about 10 years ago, and I've been working in the kids spaces. So I started off as a kids counselor, and then I worked myself through all the different levels to managing the kids' entertainment spaces. So Gary, I'm sure I've met your nephew, niece, your grandchildren on board with us before. And then Chad, you can go ahead.
I was in the entertainment department on Disney as well. Basically, I was a magician, so that's what I do full time right now as well, back at home. And yeah, we've been fortunate enough to actually sail on all 4 of the current Disney ships. There are more that are coming out. It was supposed to be next year, but due to the current situation, I think they did push it back by a year. So there are new ships coming to Disney Cruise Line as well. But the time that we spent with Disney was incredibly life-changing. The experience that you'd have at the parks, at Disney World or Disneyland, excuse me, are probably just as magical as what you'd experience on the cruise line. Even though you don't have the experiences like Space Mountain and all the different coasters and rides, it's a magic, but in a different kind of way that the cruise line offers. And it's completely family friendly. Like Gary mentioned about the spaces, the pre-teens and the teens. So essentially there are different spaces that are allocated for different age groups on board. So you have from 3 years old, you actually have a nursery as well. So you've got a nursery which caters up to children up to 2 years old. And then you have from 3 years old to 17, 3 years old to 12 years old, I'm sorry. And then
your teen spaces
your
from 11
pre-teens,
to 13.
Yeah. And then your teen spaces, which would be from 14 to 17 years old. So there's really, and there's things going on all day. And the kids spaces in particular are open from like 9 a.m. until midnight. So if you do cruise with kids or like with your family, they're taken care of throughout the entire day. You don't have to worry about a thing. It is completely secure. They're completely safe. And yeah, it's just an amazing family experience.
Yeah, I think for us living in South Africa, the only exposure we had to Disney growing up was through the books, right? And a lot of us that don't grow up near the parks are exposed through Disney through the books or through the movies. And we kind of have that connection already. But when we got there, I don't think I was ready for the wonder and literally the magic from a guest perspective, but also from a crew perspective that Disney has to offer. And I think that's what ties us so much to the brand. Even though we're not there right now or there anymore, we're still big Disney fans. We still love the cruise line. We are a little bit biased when it comes to the cruise line and the parks. We vote cruise line all the time, but it's all one big family and we're all there for the same thing. Yeah. But we really are just here to answer any questions. If you guys have any questions about living on a cruise ship as a crew member, or if you have questions about anything, the cruise lines do have cruises from 3-day cruises to 7 days. Sometimes they do the Mediterranean cruises, or they'll go into Alaska and Hawaii areas. There's, if you're sailing without any kids, there's things that adults can do. My mom sailed with me, and she loved it. It was just her and my 2 aunts. They had no kids, and they didn't even notice that there were no kids on board, or they didn't even notice that there were kids on board. Yeah, because the adult spaces are just so beautifully equipped for the adults as well.
Wow.
A little bit of like a little fact about Disney Cruise Line is that it didn't actually start off as Disney Cruise Line. Basically, it was like the mid 80s to the mid 90s. Disney would essentially charter a cruise or different cruises from a company called Premier Cruises, I think it was, or Premier Ship Cruises. I don't know if they're still in existence, that particular company. But then it went well, and it was actually called the Big Red Boat. It wasn't called anything like Disney Cruise Line or like Mickey's Maiden Voyage, none of that. It was called the Big Red Boat. And then the first Disney ship was actually launched in May of 1998, which was the Magic. And then a year after that was the Disney Wonder. And in 2011 was the Disney Dream, which was a little, not a little, it was actually a lot bigger.
Yeah.
I would say probably like 1.5 times the size and double the capacity. And then in 2012, the Disney Fantasy. And then we're all waiting to see what the new ships look like.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Natalia and Chad. It's lovely to see you too, actually, people who actually work with Disney from the insider. As people know, I have so many questions. So I will share the first one. For someone who has never been on a cruise line, I would like to ask, how is life like? If I get on a Disney cruise line for the first time, what do I expect? How long? And where do I go? Can I go to different stations and get off the boat, do an exploration and come back? Do I have to get up every day at a certain point for breakfast, lunch, and dinner? What's happening every day?
That's a great question. There's so much to do. So as you enter, well, obviously before you book your cruise, you'll decide on how long of a cruise you want. So you're looking for a 3-day, a 7-day, where you want to go. And then as you get on board the cruise, one of the things, and I hope this doesn't take away too much of the magic for people that are on there, one of the things that Disney Cruise Line does is, as you're walking on board, we have a team of people who stand there, and we have a welcome line. So they'll say, Disney Dream, please welcome aboard Minji and her family. And then everyone just stands there and like goes crazy and welcomes you on board. So the first thing you would do is you would get your lunch. And you can go and you can view the actual ship if you want to go do a ship tour. If you want to change any dining reservations, all of those things are available for you to do on the first couple of hours in that time, because we sail back to back. So as soon as one set of guests get off the ship, they get off at like 9 o'clock. Our next set of guests get on board at 11 o'clock, and we have to turn around the entire ship
in 2 hours
before the new guests get on, and we have to make sure everything's clean and perfect. So the guests get on, and then you can go and you can enjoy your lunch on board. There are ship tours. You can go to the kids club and sign your kids up for the kids club. You can change your dining reservations. Now every night, what's really cool in the restaurants is you will rotate through 3 different restaurants, and your server goes with you. So if, for example, I'm your server and I know you have a peanut allergy, tomorrow night when we go to another restaurant, I'll be your same server, so I'll know, make sure that there's no nuts in these foods. If, you know, when I sailed as a guest as well, because I sailed a couple of times too, that's how much I love the cruises. You know, I love having, what's that red, not cocktail, mocktail? I can't remember the name of it, but I loved having, it's like grenadine and Sprite. And before I got to my table on the second night of dinner, my server had it there waiting for me. He had my mom's drink waiting for her. He had the drink waiting for my aunt as well. So they get to know you on a personal level. It's not just, okay, tonight I'm going to a new restaurant and no one knows me. They know who you are. They know your allergies. They know where you know, your whole family, and they follow you throughout your entire cruise, making sure that for your dinner time, they have all your requirements. Getting off in ports, you're welcome to get off in the port, but make sure that you're back before we set sail, or else we will say, arrivederci, and we'll meet you at the next one. And yeah, you're welcome to explore. You know, they have a port adventures team on board. So they help you plan day trips into different places and going into different excursions. You know, when we're in Rome, you can go see you can go see, there's so many different things. You can go to cathedrals. They have in Russia, there was the Russian ballet that you can go see. There's so many things. And it's also based on your interest level and your ability. So you're not going to send someone on an adventure if they have certain restrictions that they might not enjoy. And then
also, just to touch on the food. Sorry, I don't mean to interrupt you. We saw there were like quite a few questions that came through in the chat. Just to answer some of you about the food. Well, firstly, the food is incredible.
Yeah.
The food is amazing. But I did see someone asking that is the food international. So Disney caters pretty much to every single guest. Okay. So how it works is before you cruise. So let's say you your food requirements is that you require halal meals. You would let the cruise line know beforehand, and they would actually in turn then inform the kitchen team, the head chefs, everybody who is involved in making meals to make sure that the meal is prepared according to those like regulations and requirements to make it comfortable and also very like obviously inclusive. You don't have to be, you never want someone not to join the cruise line and experience it just because of food. So Disney actually goes that extra mile just to make sure that everybody can, you know, to feel at home. Essentially, that's what it's all about. When you from the time you join the cruise and you walk through that welcome line, everybody announces your name and gives you like a round of applause and everything. Right up until the very end, the goal is to make you feel at home and to make you feel as if you've made your family a little bit bigger.
Yeah, and with the food, I'm telling you, from the time you get on board, you want to weigh yourself before you do, because at the end, you are definitely going to pick up a couple of kgs, because the food on board is free. So for your lunches and your dinners, there are a few specialty restaurants where it's adults only, and you might pay a small service charge for that, but your afternoon lunches, your breakfasts, your dinners are all included in your cost of your ticket. And then there's also pizzerias that's upstairs by the pools. There's like burger joints. There's ice cream on tap. You literally have ice cream whenever you want to. So there's like so much different food options. And some of the restaurants are also themed. So you might have a French menu in one, you might have a little bit more, but there's a lot of options, and they also look at different food restrictions. So you might have something where there's, I don't know what the correct terminology is, but like a gluten-free based menu type of thing. Or
preferences and allergies and everything, it's all accommodated. And another thing we actually forgot to mention, and it's probably like my favorite thing, favorite night on the cruise is basically, it's called Pirate Night. So when you sail through, obviously the Caribbean area, so with the Disney Dream and the Disney Fantasy mainly, one night of the cruise is called Pirate Night, where the entire ship is recreated into a pirate ship. So everything is pirate. There are pirates going throughout. Everybody has like pirate costumes. There's a huge pirate party up on the open deck, like around 10 p.m. Huge dance party, like a family dance party, and then we fire fireworks off the side of the ship. And as far as I know, that it is the only cruise line that actually has a fireworks show from a cruise ship.
Let's see. Yeah. There was another cruise line that tried to do it, but because I'm not sure what their particular reasons were, but at the moment, Disney's still the only cruise line that does fireworks at sea, which is really special for the guests, and it's beautiful.
And in case you're wondering what the fireworks, the fireworks are actually especially manufactured and made to be fired off at sea, because every time basically the firework explodes, Disney didn't want any debris or anything. Well, not just Disney, but every other organization doesn't want any debris falling into the water. So it will explode, but it is all like completely biodegradable. Essentially, from what we've learned, is that the casing of the fireworks actually turn into fish food. So it's a free meal for the fish as well.
Don't quote us on that.
Nice food for the fish as well.
I know the thing goes until 4 o'clock, so I don't want to keep you guys up. But if you want to hear more, we're happy to continue. I just don't know what you'll.
And answer any questions.
Yeah.
There are a couple of interesting questions. I think one from Sumili in Japan, because what she said was in Tokyo Disney, there are in the bathroom, in the restrooms, there are no mirrors because Disney doesn't want the guests to see a real world. Is that the same for other countries or cruise ships?
No, on the cruise
On the
ship, we
cruise.
do have mirrors in the bathrooms. That's very interesting. You taught me something new, Sunil. I didn't know that.
Yeah. Also, Nanyang asked also a very, very good question. He said, we have been to Disney Magic Dreams in 2011 when it was launched. When do you think it's going to sell again, realistically speaking? What do you think about the challenges the industry faces right now?
So basically, the entire cruise industry has been affected by COVID-19, and everything's been brought to a sudden halt. However, one of the biggest, or not one of the biggest, actually the first key for Disney is safety. And that means safety in terms of like physical safety and also health as well. So Disney as a cruise line is probably the cleanest place I've ever seen. It's cleaner than any hospital I've ever been to. Everything is constantly being cleaned according to very strict measures. Everything is always inspected. So before Disney even goes back to it, it's hard to say when they're going to go back to it because it's not their call. It's arranged by, well, that call is made by the CDC, the group of people who essentially make that final decision. But Disney, even if the CDC says go ahead and Disney doesn't think it's a good idea, I can assure you they wouldn't go ahead, but they are planning on starting again in December. To give you a kind of a ballpark or ballpoint answer, but we never know because it's constantly being delayed. It was supposed to be September, then October, then November. Now it's December. So hopefully just in time for the new year.
All right, Shanadli, it's very interesting to talk about it and talking to an insider. It's always interesting, to see all these different anecdotes and I was reading there that Harmeet, she didn't even know there was a cruise, Disney cruise. So there you go, Harmeet. Now there's a lot of info that you can learn and a lot of things to share as well. And well, thank you, Natalie and Chef, for sure. If we get any other questions, we can put them on an email and we can, of course, ask you if anything else will show up. And thanks you so much for your time. And thank you so much for this experience that we have with you today. I would like for Yvonne. Yvonne's so happy and so with a big smile for us to share this experience we had in Shanghai. So please, Yvonne, tell us a little bit about it.
Well, so can you see this one? I mean, the popcorn pot.
Yeah.
Can you see that?
Yes, we can.
Yeah, okay, good. Because I'm afraid it's too late, so then my son has gone to bed. So I would deliver a short presentation. So this is the popcorn pot, especially for the Chinese New Year. So this is one we purchased before Chinese Lunar New Year holidays in 2017. So the first year when Disneyland opened. And this is typical Chinese costume. And this is quite interesting because this is a special version, so which you can only purchase in China before the Lunar New Year holiday.
All right, wonderful. So that's, we saw it, and that's like a unique piece you got there.
Yes, exactly. And in fact, this is the one for the boy. So you see, it's a typical Chinese, not costume, but clothes. When the little kids wear during the Spring Festival. And then there's another girl's version. So we purchased for my son. So it's a boy version.
Well, definitely lovely, lovely, lovely. And I'm sure that every one of us who has been to Disney has these unique artifact about or let's say gift from Disney. I don't know how much gift you got. I'm sure that you got many of them if you have visited all.
Yeah, this
Look,
is one
Armina,
of them. This is from the Florida. And then I actually had another one with the popcorn on top. It's a headband as well
Wow.
from California. But I lost that because I moved many times. But this one I got it about like I think 3 years ago. So that's why I still have it.
Oh, for
Yes,
sure.
it's
And
great.
yeah. And the pictures, of course, will always remind me. And well, this is my little one, and he heard me about Disney. I say, oh, well, you're talking about that. And I say, here, come and see.
Hola,
Yeah. Like, hola.
So
Hola.
cute.
¿Cómo está?
Hello.
So Jose, I know you mentioned your son loves Star Wars, and I'm just going to throw this in.
Yes.
You can start saving. But this is, Disney actually acquired Lucasfilm, and they have a Star Wars Day at Sea, and it's on one of the ships where everything is Star Wars, and you have all of your all of your characters come in.
Mhm.
So you can definitely start saving up to take him on the cruise. And when we were there, we actually worked on the Star Wars thing. That's one of our name tags that we had while we were there. But it was really cool to for the kids to go and to learn Jedi training and to just participate. They have the Millennium Falcon that they could play in. He's gonna love it.
Well, for sure. Thank you so much. And well, thank you all for this magnificent presentation. This was a lovely one. Thank Ploy, thanks Gary, thank Natalie and Shad, thanks Yvonne, and thanks all of you for being part of this. And of course, Minji, the person, very important person behind all of these. And it was wonderful for me, to be the facilitator today. And thank you all. Next week we have a special Halloween event. So this is no special Halloween, so it's gonna be a little bit creepy, Minji, or not?
Very, very creepy. I want to ask you a question. How many of you have been to the haunted mansion in Disney? So, okay, in a haunted mansion, sometimes you will see, this is my job with my pickles, but in a haunted mansion, you will sometimes have a talking head. Somebody talking in the bottle. So this is an interesting trick. Chad, you might know it as a magician. I researched it because I'm geeky. It's a very ancient trick called Pepper's Ghost. So what you do is you have a triangle projection, and you play videos, images through this triangle projection. That in a small one I made, I think it would be good for us to get preparation for Halloween next week. Let me see if this is going to work. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm gonna turn off the lights and see if this is working. So if you want to create a haunted experience for next Halloween, just search on YouTube, Pepper's Ghost. I'm sure you're gonna make it very creepy for the children coming to your house next week. So next week, we will invite about 9 people, 3 from Asia, 3 from Europe, and 3 from America, South America, Central America, North America. Each of us will tell a ghost story about magic, ghost, or superpower from his or her country. But in between, we will do a dice game to create a ghost story together. So that's our Halloween special next week. It's not fancy as the Disney Cruise Line Parrot Day, but we will have our own fun next week, Sunday, same time for our Zoom get together. So thank you so much, guys. Wonderful Disney around the world. Thank you very much, Ploy, Gary, and Jose. Also,
But
special thanks to Natalia.
before we go, could I introduce myself?
Please.
This is the first video camera I've had, and the last time I was on, I didn't have a camera, but I'm Wilmer Nichols, a friend of Gary's, and I live in Gainesville, Florida. Gary's old hometown before he moved to Melbourne. And I just have one comment before I go. The first time I lived in Florida, I lived in Cocoa, and it was 1960, and Disney World was not there. And I left at the end of in 1961, and came back in 1963, and Disney World had just began to be built there, but nobody knew what it was. It was a total secret for some reason or the other. So every time we drove by there, we would see these things being built, but nobody knew what it was. And so I'm not sure. I'm not sure the year Disney World actually opened, but it must have been in the probably in the late '60s sometime.
Yes.
But I really enjoyed today very much, and I look forward to next week.
Great. So yeah, it looks like we all had our magic moment brought by Disney Park, Disney Cruise Line, and today's Disney Zoom party. So
Right.
great to meet everybody, and hopefully we will see all of you same time next week.
Thank you.
Bye.
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 Bye, everyone.